Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an icon, leader, and integral part of the civil rights movement in America.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Dr. King used his skillful rhetoric to advance the civil rights struggle in Alabama and beyond. He led the Black community in peaceful protests after studying the methods of the late Mohandas Gandhi, demonstrated in his Birmingham campaign in 1963. The event led to the arrest of many protesters, along with Dr. King Jr. himself. He would then spell out his theory of nonviolent protest in his famous letter from Birmingham jail. Over the course of the next several years, Dr. King Jr. would lead several crucial civil rights demonstrations. Through his courage and determination, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. helped pave the way for a better world for all people, cementing his legacy that carries on to this day.
One of my favorite Dr. King quotes is, "In the end, we remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." This quote really resonates with me because it reminds us to not only stand up for issues that affect us directly, but to also stand up for issues that affect others.
After a little research, I learned that on Easter Sunday morning, 1958, Dr. King delivered a sermon entitled "Loving Your Enemies" from the state capitol stairs of Alabama. During that sermon, he said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." I'm hopeful that as we approach Martin Luther King Day 2020, that we can work together both in our professional and daily lives to create a world that Dr. King would be proud of.
Growing up in the 1960s as a child, I remember some of the images coming across the TV screen of the Ku Klux Klan burning crosses in front of Black-owned businesses as well as their homes, and it was truly frightening. Dr. King was one voice that stood amongst all the other voices and stood for injustices. And I often wonder, where would we be as a nation had he not came forward to make his voice known for all the injustices that were taking place in the 60s. So my favorite quote of Dr. King is, "We begin to die the day we become silent on the things that matters most."
When I think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil rights movement, I think about the song called "We Shall Overcome." We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. And I think if Dr. King were here today, he would continue to promote education and civic involvement, which I believe is important in continuing to promote understanding and acceptance of people from all backgrounds.
A quote that really resonates with me today and has always resonated with me: "The time is always right to do what is right." The reason behind it is because no matter how crazy our world becomes or how difficult our lives might be, you always have to do right not only by yourself, but by others. That's basically the legacy that we leave to our children.
I think if I was to choose any of Dr. Martin Luther King's philosophies to apply to my life, it's his peacefulness and non-aggressive approach. He demonstrates, but he gets his voice. He doesn't have to get loud or aggressive.
He got up every day and did the right thing. He said his truth, the truth, not his truth, but the truth, in spite of his life being put in danger every day and the lives of his children and his wife and everyone around him. And he still spoke. He did it knowing that it would cost him his life.
The significant accomplishments achieved by Dr. King during the civil rights movement should continue to inspire us today. We should stand by each other, we should lift each other up, and we should always be respectful of all, regardless of their appearance and their economic status.
Today, we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for his leadership and dream of a world free from prejudice to bring equality and freedom for all Americans.